Hey, it's Steve Corona, and today is day 3 of the Productivity Playbook. Today we're going to talk about a really important topic, distraction. Now, there's two kinds of distraction that you might be familiar with. There's internal distraction. When you're in the middle of doing something high value and something that's really not important or low value pops into your head, and you stop the high value thing to do that low value thing. This happened to me just last week. I was in the middle of writing a newsletter and I said, I need to go buy this thing on Amazon. And I stopped what I was doing, distracted myself, and bought something on Amazon without really realizing that cycle that was happening. It was natural, I did it. And then once I purchased the thing on Amazon, did that low value thing, I kind of forgot what I was doing. I got out of the flow of my high value work. So for that type of distraction, I have a really easy, simple solution. I put a notepad, a blank sheet of paper, next to my laptop when I'm working, and when those low value thoughts pop into my head, I just quickly address them. I write them down so I've dealt with them. They won't keep popping up, bubbling up to my conscious mind, and I can go back to working on the high value thing without distracting myself for too long. It's a way quicker distraction, maybe 5 or 10 seconds, just to write down that thing, and then I'll deal with that list later when I'm, in the mindset of doing busy work or just trying to take care of some of those low value things. But it allows me to address everything that bubbles up and keep working on the high value stuff. The next type of internal distraction is when you want to go surf Reddit or browse Facebook or browse Twitter or these sorts of things. Those are generally time wasters. So the technique I have for that is I use a program called Self-Control, and I block all of those websites on my work computer. So when I'm sitting down to work, I have a user on my computer that I sign into that's just for doing work. And on that user, all of those websites are blocked. So I can't just subconsciously go and open up Reddit and start reading and spend 2 hours on there. There's also a Google Chrome extension, and the Google Chrome extension is called Stay Focused. Stay Focused is a little bit more flexible. It lets you set a time limit. So you can say, only allow me to spend 10 minutes per day on Facebook. When you use up that quota, it blocks you and you can't use it anymore. That's another tactic if you're not ready to go cold turkey, but I highly recommend eliminating that sort of social site distraction. There's a lot of value in staying connected with your friends, but I did an experiment about 2 years ago where I gave up social media for 30 days, and in that 30 days, I noticed that I was extremely productive. I think because there was just simply less distraction and also less information in my life. If you're the type of person like I am that's constantly, trying to stay up to date with what all of my friends are doing, but also with the latest technology, I'm a programmer, so I love to read about the latest tech gadgets and the latest tech in programming that's coming out. But I noticed that even though it feels really good to learn about all that stuff, that most of the time it's just too much information that I can't do anything with, that just distracts me. So sometimes it's good to just completely disconnect, to give yourself a little time to reset. So those are two forms of internal distraction and tactics to deal with it. The other form of distraction comes from external sources. So being at work, you probably work with an open floor plan. Most people today don't have offices anymore. So what I recommend for that is really simple. It's a twofold solution, and you're gonna laugh because it's so basic, but it really works. First of all, and this is the obvious part, you need to get a really good pair of noise-canceling headphones. These are Sennheiser PXC 450s. They're a little pricey, and this is not the only part of the tactic first. I'm not saying just get headphones because you probably already have headphones, but get a really good pair of noise-canceling headphones. They make a really big difference. But here's the secret part. Get a pair of these. These are Earpiece. They're earplugs. You put the earplugs in, put the headphones over it, and I generally don't play any music. I actually like silence. I don't want to listen to music. I just want silence when I'm at work. I don't want to hear the person next to me talking. With the earpiece, they're very comfortable, plus the headphones are very comfortable. You get used to it. It doesn't get hot. You don't feel stuffy. So that's my recommendations for dealing with that kind of background noise distraction. You can play music too. Sometimes I'll play music while I have the earplugs in, because you can still hear it, it's still close to your ears, but you still lose that kind of external noise, the noise of the guy on the phone next to you, talking on the phone. The other thing I recommend for office work is if you go ahead and you set the precedent that you're really busy, you set the precedent that your time is valuable. I think this is really important because otherwise people don't necessarily value your time. They think that, oh, Steve's always available to help me. Let me go bug him and distract him instead of sending him an email because I know that he'll help me right now. So what I generally do is I go ahead and I block off blocks of 2 to 4 hours every day on my calendar, okay? I block off that time, and that's time for me to actually focus on something and get work done. That's when I can sit down and really spend time digging into a problem. Now, you might not be able to do this right away, but you can build up. Start doing an hour block, go to 2 hours, 3 hours, and then 4 hours. But when someone comes and they say, hey, Steve, I need you to do this for me right now, and you're in that block of time, say, oh, actually, I'm booked right now, but send me an email and I'll get back to you. I'll take care of it. And actually take care of it for them, but the idea is you set the precedent that you're always very busy, that your calendar is always very full, and people respect that. They respect that you're busy, that your calendar's full, and they schedule around it. They won't, come and bother you as much. So the last thing I want to share is a little hard, and that's to shift your day. To shift your day, instead of coming home and staying up late and trying to get as much stuff as you can done after work, to shift that before work. Okay, so wake up earlier, but go to bed earlier. Wake up earlier and get all of your important stuff done before you go to work. Okay, you should be maximizing when you wake up. I think that everyone is truly a morning person, and people that say they're not morning people, and which was me for a long time. For a long time, I was the type of guy that loved to stay up till 4 a.m. and wake up at noon, and that cycle felt good to me, but I think it was just due to poor sleeping habits, poor exercise habits. But with tactics I'll share later in the program, start thinking about how you can shift your day to get your own personal important work done earlier in the morning, so that way when you go to work, your day's already done, so to speak. You've already mentally used up your energy or used up some of your most valuable morning enthusiasm to get your blog posts done, your newsletters done, working on your book, doing your art, writing your personal code. That stuff needs to be done in the morning. You have the most energy and the most effort to dedicate to these things right when you wake up. You wake up, you do your morning rituals, which are things like, I journal every day, I do Lumosity, which is a brain training exercise. Maybe sometimes I'll go for a run in the morning, do a little jog, do some programming, do 1,000 words of writing per day. These are my own morning rituals, and we're gonna talk about those later as well. But the idea is you wake up, do these things, and then immediately dive into your own personal high-value work. And if you do that every morning, if you can just dedicate an hour of time every morning, because you shift your day a little bit, you shift your day by an hour, now you have this free hour in the morning, you can get a lot of high-value stuff done. It's really easy, before I did this, I would come home from work and I'd have this big mental plan that I would come up with. I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna do all this stuff, I'm gonna write all these things, but I would be so exhausted from work, and then I'd have to make dinner, take a shower, that I would just wanna relax. I wouldn't want to work more. So that's why I suggest that when you shift your day, you actually do that stuff in the morning, and when you come home, you can relax and you can just take a break and kick back because your day is over at that point. So those are my couple of recommendations. I'll put links to the headphones and the earbuds in the YouTube video, and then we'll talk more in the next videos about how to actually shift your day and how you actually go about doing your morning routine. So this is day 3, you're all done. Start trying to put these actionable items, getting headphones, getting earbuds, blocking off time into your actual daily routine, and then I'll see you tomorrow for day 4.